When Microsoft came out with Recall, I had like an allergic reaction to it. The idea of Microsoft recording your screen at all times just didn't sit right with me. Something that's that invasive and all-knowing, I feel should be open source. There's something about wanting to make sure you know the innards of how it's working and what happens with the data, where it goes, is very important to me. So even though I didn't like the implementation, I really like the idea, because having access to semantically search what you go through the entire day could be really helpful, because I know I'll be having a conversation like, oh, I saw this one GIF, or I saw this one document that I really wanted to share. No idea where it was. I have too many tabs open. It gets lost in the clutter. So having the ability to ask my computer or ask an AI to pull something up or to reference something sounds very valuable. So I was pretty excited when I heard about screenpipe. Screenpipe is an open source project, also MIT licensed, where it will record your screen and audio, whether it's your microphone or system audio, as long as you have it running, and then it's queryable. Now, the project is only 4 months old, still relatively new, so the API isn't very developed yet, but it has a lot of promise. So I just wanted to quickly show. So you get a lot of options. You can set the monitors that you're going to use. You can set the audio devices. So it's getting there. Like, it's definitely showing a lot of promise. And I just wanted to quickly demonstrate how earlier in the day, also, sorry, when you search for something like, okay, where have I mentioned Open Adapt today? Or when does it come up on my screen? You get this whole blob of information. It's very overwhelming. I pipe it to JQ to kind of structure it a bit. And you can see, actually, this little quote was when I was watching Richard's demo video. Or I have like a OCR over my screen when Open Adapt AI was there. So it's a lot of information right now, but it's helpful to have this be a component in a system. So rather be a standalone thing you use, if you use it with something that can consume all this information and present it in a nicer way, it becomes very powerful. So I actually set up a profile in Open Interpreter called screenpipe. And what this will do is it'll allow you to use your natural language queries, get converted into a screenpipe database query, and be able to return the results and then act upon it. So let me just really quickly run this. When was I talking about Open Adapt today? So I'm using Grok. That's why you get that snappy speed. And I set up this search screenpipe function as a custom tool in Open Interpreter. So it'll pass an Open Adapt and query it. Let's approve that. And again, you get a whole bunch of information, but Open Interpreter takes this all in, processes it, and then it'll actually tell you a more consumable way of what you're dealing with here. So there you go. I was looking at the Open Adapt AI GitHub earlier today, which is true. I was checking it out, wanted to check out the code. Can you please open up that website for me? And this is where the Open Interpreter aspect comes in, because all of a sudden you're able to take this data and action it. Oh, it cut it off.
I blame that on Grok.
I blame that on Grok. This is just Llama 70B, so it's nowhere near as powerful as GPT-4o. But the premise is there, where you're able to use a tool like screenpipe, or like you showed, REM, something that is able to consolidate this data and make it queryable, all of a sudden unleashes a whole lot of extra context that you can use in your AI system. So I'm trying to encourage people to think less about an individual tool as the solution versus a pipeline solution or a system set in place. Similar to how Richard showed us the architecture diagram, there's so many moving components that we're so early in the process that you want to start piecing things together, being able to have information flow smoothly between the system to really achieve the results you want. So I really encourage people, if they're looking to automate a process, to explore automating or creating code to satisfy a single portion of it, and then open source it. Because if we can take these plug and play components, these little Lego blocks, we'll be able to start gradually building up more and more systems to achieve this level of automation that we're really striving for. So screenpipe, still early days, but a potentially valuable component to a larger system. So check it out.
That's super cool.